My sole purpose in this life is to heal. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason and nothing we go through is by accident. As I sit back and reflect on my own life, I know that I was meant to use my voice to help others for whatever reason can't quite use theirs. Let me be your voice. Let me be your voice when you feel nobody understands you. Let me be your voice when you feel no one else is listening. Let me be your voice when you feel ashamed for whatever reason. Let me be your voice when you can't quite speak. And let me be the voice that you hear as you grow with Ravy.
Yeah, man, is this too deep for the intro? If so, I'll find another use. But just in case it's perfect, let me introduce.
We're recording? Big Purr. Okay. Hello and welcome to Growing with Ravy. I am your host, Miss Ravy. And this time, this round, this new season, I want to do something different. And with being different, I am adding on guests. And so for my first guest, I want to introduce Miss Misha Hayes. How are you today?
Hey everyone, I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. I am so excited for you to be here. I'm nervous. I know we never really had a full conversation.
Right.
So when you was like, oh, me, you were the person that I was thinking about asking, but I was like, dang, I know it's so short of a notice, so I don't know if she will be down. I know she's busy. But I appreciate you being here.
Well, I definitely was excited the first time you asked me, so I'm like, well, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully we get to do
Right.
this. Make it happen. I've been not necessarily playing, just trying to get, be more consistent with the things that I say I'm going to do, because I have a mind of creativity and I'll be wanting to do every single thing.
Right.
But podcasts, it always comes back to podcasts. So how was your week?
It was actually pretty good. I had a very successful week last week. So this week was kind of like my wind down from that. So I feel like last week my wins were in a specific way, and then I ended up having wins in a different way this week. So even though it was kind of like my wind down, it was still kind of like an upbeat week for me. So it was really good though.
So your mood was like, it's chill.
Yeah.
Like chill. So this lofi is perfect.
Right.
Yes. That's wonderful. So how do you feel in regards to how your week went? Do you wish it would have been better, or how you?
So I actually, it went great. So as far as me, my business goes, everything went great with my business. I met my goals.
Period.
I had a really wonderful day. I'll start with the fact that I got stood up.
You had a date?
No.
Oh, okay.
So I had a date, but it was a friend's date. And I got stood up by not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 people.
Today?
Yesterday.
Oh.
So I invited a few people. Well, I kind of made a post on Facebook about it. And the people that were interested, I invited them out for a friend's date where we go to brunch. We go to the museum, stroll around the museum, because yesterday was the free day at Newfields. And then
I need to be knowing more about that. Can you reach out to me personally, please?
Yeah.
Okay. Please.
I'll definitely send you the invite for the next one, because I just sent them out today. But Newfields, and then we walked around Golden Hill. And Golden Hill is like this neighborhood. Do you know what Golden Hill is?
Girl, why I was thinking about Crown Hill.
No.
I was like, y'all walked around
No. It's by Crown Hill, though. It's literally right across from Crown Hill.
It's a basketball court.
Yeah, it's a basketball court over there. And but a lot of people don't know, behind that park is a neighborhood. It's a very wealthy neighborhood, and it started out with lawyers and CEOs and doctors, and it's been passed down through generations. So it's a lot of old money over there. And then now that we have this new entrepreneurial boom going, so there's a lot of new money coming in on that neighborhood as well, but they're millionaires, and it's literally right by the hood. I used to walk around that neighborhood as a kid.
So you grew up over there?
Yeah.
I did too.
Oh, really?
32nd.
I was on 34th. 34th.
So we was 2 blocks and didn't even know it.
Right.
We're
And
supposed to be friends a long time ago. That's
right, exactly. So we walked around the neighborhood, soaked in some rich energy.
Exactly.
I did have one friend come, so I still ended up going on the outing, and it was a really nice outing. It was really just supposed to be, like I said, a wind down, just to be able to enjoy the art at the museum, walk around the neighborhood, enjoy the good weather, and take some time just to,
soak it all up and visualize yourself being there.
Right,
I wanna
exactly.
come to the next one.
Okay.
And you also know that the perfect amount of people, the people that were supposed to be there,
Was
there. Whether it was 1, 2, 3. That's why I always tell myself,
Exactly.
I don't care who show up. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to have a good time by myself.
Right.
So I know
That's kind of where I was when I thought no one was going to come. Like, I'm still going to go to the museum. I'm still going to do my walk because this is something that, I wanted to do for me anyway. I did want to share the experience, but I also wanted it for me. So it was definitely going to still happen.
I feel like we're kind of similar. Like, I watch you on social media all the time and I'm like, she's doing shit that I want to do. Like, I wish I could do it. And like, I love like your following and how you got people gravitating to you and wanting to be around you and the things that you put on for the community, for the women, for the entrepreneurs. Like, I just love it. I love it. So,
Thank you.
Again, thank you so much for being here.
No problem. I'm really happy to be here.
Whenever you call, baby, I'll roll up. I'll roll up. I'll roll up. Whenever you call, baby, I'll roll up. I'll roll up. I'll roll up. Whenever you call, baby.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on over to the roll up. And with that, we take our 3 deep breaths. So are you ready for that?
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are listening, if you do not know how I do my deep breaths, I breathe in through my nose. I hold it as long as I can. Try not to kill myself. And then I breathe out with my mouth. So take a deep breath, breathe in. I had onions, so hopefully, girl, you don't smell that. Breathe in. Sorry, breathe in. Ooh, that felt good. I feel like my back just cracked a little bit. How did that make you feel?
I was thinking, good thing I brushed my teeth right before I walked on out the door.
I don't smell you, girl. You good.
No,
I'm the one that just ate.
But yeah,
You
it's
know,
very
but
refreshing.
onions in my food, so sorry if you smell it. Mike
No,
back
I
there
didn't smell
laughing.
it. I didn't.
She's like, hold on, let me scoot back a little bit.
I didn't even smell it.
No, just kidding. So, who are you? What do you do? Like, I want you to be able to tell my audience who you are for those that don't know.
Okay, so I am an Indy native, born and raised, from the West Side, really. So I went to high school here, went to college here, I went to Butler.
Mm-hmm.
And after Butler, I joined the National Guard. That was like the most random thing. Like, I didn't even tell my mom I was doing it.
You
Type
just
of
did it.
situation. She didn't know until she saw a picture of me pledging. And my little brother showed her the picture. So I joined the National Guard. Because my mom is one of those people that's going to talk you out of it.
Yeah.
If she's not for it, she's definitely going to make sure she talks you out of it. So it was one of those things where it's like, I know I'm going to do this and I don't want her to talk me out of it.
Yeah.
And I was in a place where I was actually finding myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I had, went to Butler, went there for all 4 years, and I actually left after the 4th year. I ran out of funding actually. And so once I was done, I was like, okay, now, like, what am I going to do with myself? Right. And so, I don't know, I just had the idea to join the Army National Guard. And so I joined, and it was very much not finding myself because they tell you how to be in the Army. Like, they tell you
How to wear,
how to style your hair, what, every hour of the day is accounted for by them. When you're in basic training and AIT, and I spent pretty much about almost a full year in both of those due to the trade that I went through. So but it did teach me discipline, and it taught me to kind of have a little bit more organization in my life. So I did learn those things.
Yeah.
But as far as finding myself, I still had that journey to go through. And so after that, I went into corporate America, had a couple of children.
Yeah.
And honestly, entrepreneurship just kind of fell into my lap during that period. And then I became an entrepreneur, and that's kind of like been my lifestyle for the past 4 to 5 years. And it's been an amazing journey. It's been a very rewarding journey. It's been a very, very self-learning journey. You learn a lot about yourself, what you can do, what you're capable of. And it's just been a great experience, to say the least.
Do you feel, first off, okay, so what do you actually do?
So I started out
multiple businesses. Pop your shit, girl.
So I started out with photography. And when I say that fell into my lap, it's because it wasn't actually something that I was planning on ever starting. Like, I never had the idea to be a photographer. However, it was actually my children's father. One day I asked him, like, what's something that you want to do outside of work? Like, if you didn't have work to do, what would you be doing? And he said, photography. I want to do sports photography, take pictures of people at football games and things like that. And I was like, okay. So Father's Day came around, I got him a camera. And the purpose of me getting him the camera was just so he could, he had been working all the time. And so I just wanted him to have something for himself.
And that's us. That's women. Like, we be wanting the best for them.
Right.
And kind of not like putting that energy on us.
Exactly. So as he learned, I was learning too. And I actually found out that I was good at it.
Yeah.
I found out that I was really good at it. And I found like myself being pulled into it, like trying to learn different things, and find myself up to 4:00 in the morning just trying to learn a process. So I became a photographer. And
Did he still continue?
He actually didn't. So we did break up. And his camera got stolen or something, and he just never, after that, he just let it go. But again, he's one of those people who just works himself. So he kept putting more time into his work than himself. He did eventually find something for himself, which was actually football, not taking pictures at the games, but he does do football. But yeah, he kind of just let it go.
Yeah.
So, I became a photographer. And when I first became a photographer, I was focusing on the Black family. I wanted to put images out there of the Black family in our best moments, whether that's creating a new life, maternity shoots, or whether it was, graduating, whether it was a brand shoot for their business, showing off entrepreneurs. Like, I just wanted to focus on Black people in our best moments. And then as I grew, I kind of built this community of other women entrepreneurs around me, which was Girl Gang Indy. So with that, I had been doing photography about a year or two. I was a first generation entrepreneur.
Period.
And I needed that community. I needed people to connect with. There were certain things that I didn't feel comfortable going and asking, my friends and family about that didn't know about, the passion of an entrepreneur, because they'll just tell me,
work, go find you something, go do a 9 to 5, go.
Yeah. And so, or they'll, try and give me advice that literally isn't the direction that I wanted to take with my business, because they just don't know. Their heart is in the right place, but they just don't know.
They love you. They want the best for you, but you have to keep pushing. Like, I had to do the same thing. I had to shut everybody else out and kind of like get into like hibernation. Even my partner, like nobody can see my vision.
Right.
But I realized that it's not for anybody else to see. It's not for anybody else to understand. It's for me. And so if I keep pushing, like, yes, I have to work a 9 to 5 now, but I made sure that if I'm going to work for somebody else, I'm going to actually like what I do.
That.
So that's where I'm at, like, right now. Like, I had kept finding jobs. Like, I kept working jobs, quitting them, working jobs, quitting them. And I'm like, why do I keep quitting these jobs? It's like, because it's not for me.
Right.
And so I took a moment, literally right before my birthday this year. I said, you know what? I don't care what nobody gonna say. I'm done with this job. I was working for Republic. Free flights, but I didn't give a damn. Like, I was like, I don't care about no free flights. I want to be happy. So I just prayed. I got on my knees and I was like, God, please just guide me. Show me another way, because this is not it. I need something. I want to be in leadership. I want my work to be impactful, whatever it is that I do. I don't know what that looks like, but just show me. Girl, got a nice little job for the state, and I'm grateful.
Yeah. And I think that I don't know if it's just specifically as entrepreneurs, because it might just be a type of person that I'm not quite aware of yet. But it's really a blessing to have that mindset to walk away from things that do not serve you, because everybody doesn't possess that. We do it so easily, and when we do it, it shocks the mess out of people.
The hell. Like, my mom tells me all the time, I'm so glad that you kept pushing. Like, even in relationships, like me just like, okay, letting things be what it is and just like pushing me.
Right.
Because this gonna work or it ain't gonna work. I don't really care. I'm trying to do what I love.
Right.
So
Yeah. So I think that because there's a lot of people who will stay in situations that they aren't happy in, where they feel stuck, where they feel they aren't progressing, but they feel safe there. And
comfortable.
That comfort is what's keeping them idle and keeping them from going to the next level. I actually just, I had worked the job for like 90 days.
Look at you.
And I was all excited. I'm like, yeah, I made it 90 days. I can't believe I did it. And then literally quit like a week later because it just was not, it was costing me my peace.
And it probably was taken away from your passion and the things that you want to do.
Absolutely. And so I felt like those two things alone were enough reason for me to walk away, but also the fact that I have this unwavering faith in myself, belief in myself, a faith in God, but an unwavering belief in myself and what I know that I'm capable of.
Exactly.
And so I knew that when I walked away from that job, that I would be okay. Like, I knew that I wouldn't falter, even though, I was walking away from a consistent income, just because I know what I'm capable of. Yeah. And so I think that when people go through that journey, that self-discovery, and push themselves and learn what they're capable of, they kind of adopt that same mentality of walking away from things that don't serve them anymore, because then they know that they'll be okay.
Exactly. That's what one of the things that I was going to say that you had said in regards to like comfort. I ask my partner, that's kind of like my best friend, but I ask him all the time, like, if you're comfortable, how do you expect to grow?
Right.
How? I mean, nobody can really answer that, because you can't. You can't grow in comfort.
Right.
You have to put yourself out there. And I realize, like, even within myself today, do you all week, voices in my head, Raven, don't record. I literally was going to give up and just text Mike and be like, hey, I was going to make up something. But something told me, was like, Raven, you keep saying you want this.
Right.
You keep saying you want it. Why are you not going for it?
Exactly.
Fight for what the hell you want.
Right. Push through.
Push through. Nervous or not, I'm over here shaking in my motherfucking boots right now. But I'm enjoying this time. And I know that this is something that I'm supposed to do. So stop being comfortable. Like, that's my message for today. Get out of your comfort zone and do something that you want to do, but you're scared to do.
Absolutely. Because the reward is on the other end, and that's the only way you're going to get to it.
Only way.
The only way you fail is if you don't try, first off. But then the only way that you get to whatever goals that you have set for yourself is that if you actually put in that work and do what you said you were going to do. So,
and being around other people that are doing it.
mm-hmm.
Can we please be friends? Like, now that you're here and we're connecting, I really want us to be friends.
I'm down.
Like, I feel like when we see each other, we speak, hey, girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to be in Girl Gang Indie, like,
Yeah.
for real.
So I've actually been in this mode where I'm finding my tribe. So when you see me on these little outings where, like, did you see where we did like the flower arrangement?
And I love that idea.
Those little outings are actually, those are personal invites, and they're not actually like, I don't post it in Girl Gang or anything, but they, a lot of them, they're not ticketed. Like, I'm not saying, hey, pay a ticket to come hang with me or anything. These are people that I'm looking for authentic connections with, because I feel like I've grown, and not saying that because I do have like 20-year friends, I'm not saying that I've outgrown them, but I do feel like there are people that I could connect with on different levels now. Yeah. So I'm on that mission to build my tribe. And so I have been very intentional with that. And I think that it's very beneficial in different ways. Yeah. And it was something that I really didn't value as much before. I was one of those people who was like, they don't text back. Forget it.
Right. Quick. Hey, that's one thing somebody always said to me, like, Raven, I didn't have no problem with cutting friends off.
Right.
Like, but you do me dirty
out
the door, because I know my heart and I know how I care for people. It's been people, like, I don't think that I have any more friends from high school that I talk to like on a daily.
Right.
I feel like I fell out with all of my high school friends, all of my college friends. And I know that especially back then, like if we're doing a mirror, okay, I know that I was like rude and hard, I feel like, on them. But it wasn't like an intentional rudeness. Like, it's more so like I know you can do better. I want to push you to be better. Yeah. So I don't have no friends.
Yeah. And then,
is it me?
No. And I understand that, because I've been like that with friends too. And I had to learn how to like let up, because then you realize that there's this disconnect in the friendship now, where they feel like you're judging, or you're trying to parent them, or, things like that. And so I learned to let up. I just had, with my 20-year friend, I just was like, well, I know a financial consultant, because she messaged me saying she was doing all of these things to get her finances together. She had these certain goals. I'm like, well, okay. Well, I know a financial consultant. I was going to recommend it about a week ago, but I didn't want you to think I was in your business. She said, girl, you always in my business.
But at least I have that understanding.
Yeah, it took us a while.
Allow me to be that person.
Yeah, it took us a while, because at first we would butt heads, and we wouldn't talk for months at a time because of it, because she didn't understand where I was coming from with what I was saying. Like, no, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm also just trying to give you
advice,
insight,
give you understanding. Like,
right.
I feel like not even just friends, family members. I know sometimes my mom, my sister, because I even say this to them all the time. I do not think I know everything.
Right.
I do not think that I know everything. I'm just learning. I'm growing. I'm learning as I go. And I love to share. I love to give information. I love to help people be better.
Right. And so, I'm one of those people that even when we fall out, I still love you. There's still love. It's not like, okay, you had your feelings towards me and I had my feelings towards you. Now we can't ever talk again.
Yeah.
It was all out of love at the end of the day. So I think that it took for her to realize that too. It's like, we might be butting heads on this subject, but that doesn't mean
I don't care for this person.
Right.
I don't respect you. I don't love you. Like,
right.
I think with me, it's like, how can I say this in a nice way? I don't give a fuck. Like, That ain't nice. But it's a lot of it has been like, for me, I'm just like, life is too short. Either we're gonna be friends or we not. Either we're
Right.
gonna get this shit together or we not.
Exactly.
I can't go back and forth with you.
Exactly.
I used to tell my friends and they used to get so mad at me. Do you have a dick? They were like, huh? What do you mean? Do you have a penis? I'm not about to be arguing with you. You're not giving me dick.
Right.
What are we arguing for? But I'm learning how to respect, like, so friends, if I ever said that to you, I am sorry. I know that I'm smiling, but I'm so serious. I'm sorry. I understand it was kind of like ignorant, but it's just, for me, it was just like, there's no point in me arguing with you. We shouldn't have an emotional connection. But friendships, they have emotional connections. Like, so.
Yeah, they're just as important. Well, some of them are just as important as that relationship with your significant other or your sister or your brother, you know. So, but you have to, you know, figure out which friendships are
worth it and what aren't. So the ones that's gone, honey, I wish you the best. I love you.
Absolutely.
But I do have a question. What part of your career did you feel like you had made a mental shift, and what happened in that area, in that time frame?
It's hard to say because it's been a journey the whole entire time. But I know that it happened.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the same anymore as I did when I was just a full-time employee and not an entrepreneur. I don't think the same at all. I think that there was a point I'll say about halfway through, where my business was going really well, but I had my flaws as a business owner. Like I had to learn how to shift to make it work for me. And I think that when I successfully did that, it just kind of, that's when I realized, you know, who I am and what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
So basically I had to, you know, it's one thing to be a photographer and take pictures, you know, it's another thing to take money for it. But when you're successfully operating a business, I hired an assistant. I hired retouchers. I had a set schedule. I had my booking site.
So you was a boss.
Yeah, I had my
Basically,
workflows
that's
put
what
in
you
place,
said.
things like that.
Yeah.
And once I accomplished all of these things, it showed me, you know, what I was capable of. And I was able to, you know, it gave me that confidence to do anything that I felt like I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I agree. I'm trying to think back. Like, I feel like I'm currently in a mental shift. Do you feel like you had to let go of certain things?
My mindset definitely shifted. So I did have to let go of certain ideals that I was holding on to as far as the way my life was. So like right now, I'm in this learning journey of financial discipline. So when I first started photography, I didn't have any slow seasons. It was constantly going. The money was I was constantly raising my prices.
Yeah.
Trying to slow the income or the people coming in. Like I was constantly raising my prices to slow it down because I was working myself too
much.
Yeah. And so I finally hit a point where it was slow. And I realized that all of the time I had made all of that money, and now slow season is here, and I'm chasing $1 now. The money's not chasing me right now. I'm chasing that dollar, trying to stay on top. And so now I'm in this mindset of really setting that foundation as a entrepreneur, as a business owner, to where, okay, you got your processes and your workflows set, but now you need this side of the business set, which is establishing yourself financially, putting that foundation down, not just for yourself, but you know, I do have children. So when those slow seasons come, they shouldn't affect
your household.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm on that learning journey. I have a mentor.
I was going to ask you, so how are you getting there? How you go from not doing it to now you're doing it?
First, reading. I started investing in different books that kind of helped me. So I did purchase just like a little e-webinar type of course for financial literacy. And then I started reading.
Tamika, have you heard of her?
Tamika.
She has a book. She's like the Budgetnista or something. Is that her name? I don't know. She is fire. You're going to keep talking. I'm going to look for it because I promise you she's fire. So I bought her book.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know because the books that I got were like Profit First. And I also read The Richest Man in Babylon. So if you read both of those books back to back, you'll see that they kind of both reiterate the same thing just in different ways. So completely different ways. But it kind of just reinforces that for you on how to budget your money as an entrepreneur. And then, like I said, I did get the mentor, but I also went to different events based off of financial success. So I've been to a few of those, just trying to, get those gems, network a little, and then also be able to apply what I learned to, what I'm already doing.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I did get a mentor. So we had a really great meeting just this past Monday, which I know it's like the simplest thing.
Yeah.
It'd be the simplest things that we make so complicated. So she simply had me write out my expenses for the month. And so I wrote them out, my personal side and then my business side. And this is because I just had that shift from not having that job in photography. So then she's like, okay, so this is all the money that you have to spend. Like, not the money that you want to spend. This is all that you have to spend. And we need to figure out a way to make sure that you have this amount of money for this month.
Yeah.
And so then we broke it down as far as what I can do with my business in order to just make that minimum. Just the minimum of the expenses. And it was so simple.
Simple. I did one on my own and I was like, I called my dad. I was like, look, I want it to be where I come from a mom who did it herself. So I watched my mom as a single mom just bust her ass.
Right.
And like every time she got paid, her check was gone. I want to get out of that mentality. Like, I want to get out of that. So I asked my dad, I said, I want it to be where the first check that I get for that month goes to all my bills.
Right.
And then the second check that I get, I can play with.
Right.
I can just, save. I can do whatever I want. But I want to be that disciplined where I just pay all of my bills for that month at the beginning and then just leave it from there. And so I was asking him like, okay, how do I do that? And he just gave me the simplest little task. He was like, okay, first write out the budget. I'm like, duh.
Girl, I paid my rent 2 weeks in advance. I felt like I was the richest. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing.
Girl, I be, no, I think that's my issue. I ain't got to pay it to the 5th. You gonna get it.
I paid it 2 weeks in advance. She could not tell me nothing.
Yes.
But one other thing that I did not mention that I did that I feel that people don't really equate to financial success is I got my referral. I actually start next week, but therapy. Because what I realized...
You jumping the gun, okay? Because that's going to be another question in the session.
So what I realized is that I'm very impulsive. And I can be very impulsive and I can get very distracted from my goals. And I think that me being so impulsive kind of gets in the way of where I want to be financially. Because if I have it and then I see, I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted those shoes that were $250 and I finally got that $250.
And I want to spend it.
and it's just like, right away, it's just gone, and I have no remorse for it at all.
Don't care. I will get it back. Like, because they say spend it like you're going to get it back. Have that mentality. So I spend it to get it back, but I don't save for rainy days.
Exactly.
And so that's the problem. Like, no, don't just save and not ever spend your money. I'm talking to one specific person here, but don't just like my partner. He saves. And I'm like, we can go on a trip now.
Yeah.
Like, how much money you planning on saving? Like, but
That's my partner.
I'm the impulsive. Like, I want to spend your money.
And I think that, I forget what I was about to say. Oh yeah, so we spend so much time, you know, struggling and trying to get that money, and then when we finally get it, we feel like we have to reward ourselves. We don't want to put it up.
We don't
because
want to.
I don't work so hard, and I've been dusty for 2-3 months, and I don't want to be dusty anymore.
I need my nails done, my feet done. Like,
Right.
as soon as you get some money, you need X, Y, and Z done.
But yeah, so I'm investing into therapy.
Yeah.
So that I can work through whatever it is where I feel like I have to be so impulsive and not as pragmatic, and just kind of wanting to grow through that actually. So
Come on, growth. This is growing right now,
Right.
okay, I'm gonna have to have you back on here and see how your therapy journey is going for you.
for sure.
Warning, you are now entering into a safe space with Raby Bay. Please feel free to grab your trees, your pen and notebook, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Well, we're going to move on over to the session. I don't have a lighter. So, you got a lighter? No? Okay. We're going to
I had
like,
one, but it was in the car.
Oh.
It was sitting right in the cup holder.
Okay, we're going to talk about that off camera. But anyways, I do have a question. So with everything that you do, and this is some advice I feel like I need, how do you juggle being a mom with all of these businesses and all of these things that you do? Like, your support system, I'm sure, is probably like super strong or...
Right.
Okay, I was going to say, is that it?
So I do have a really good support system. So I think that I feel like a lot of people are probably like, where the heck are her kids? They're with their dad, or they're with my mom, or, or with their dad's mom, because they absolutely, are very present in their lives. Like was it yesterday or the day before, my mom texted me like, hey, Chase has been kind of sad. Have you noticed? Like, they're that involved with my kids. So, and she's only been sad because she's 7 and she's a little testy, but she's all right. But yes, I do have a very good support system, thankfully. But also, one big thing that I'm not ashamed of is outsourcing. And outsourcing in my business or outsourcing in my personal life. So I have a 2-year-old, and then I have my 7 and 8-year-old. So my 7 and 8-year-old go to elementary school. So ideally, you would think that I'm dropping the 2-year-old off to the daycare and then getting the kids on the bus or taking them to the school. But no, I take them all to the daycare, and I have the bus pick them up from the daycare.
Because that's how you do it.
Yeah, it's just like making things simpler for me. You would think like, because I'm home all the time, that I'm cleaning all the time because I'm a full-time entrepreneur, so I'm at home to do it. No, I pay somebody to come and do the deep cleans. So I would pay somebody to do the laundry.
Look at me like I'm lazy.
Oh yeah, I get that too. But I don't care.
I want to pay somebody to clean. Like, look here, I work from home majority of the week, so I don't while I'm working. I have a very no, I'm not on the phones, but I can't be away from my desk for a long period of time because then my work is not getting done, and then I'm a whole manager now. Like, come on, manager.
Hey.
Okay?
Big boss.
I ain't never been no manager before. I'm a manager. But yes, and I'm like, I just want to pay somebody to clean, because by the time I get off, I tell him, I get off at 3, I'm sleeping. I'm taking me a midday nap between 3 and 4. That's my self-care. I have to do that before I go be a mom.
Right.
I need my time to myself outside of work. And y'all, I need me.
Right.
So I take my little nap. I go be the mommy. I don't get home till 6 o'clock. Then I gotta cook, feed the kids. When I'm fold these clothes.
Right. Exactly. I was gonna do the laundry service where they pick it up and bring it back folded, and I might still, but I got to literally the washer and dryer is right by my bedroom.
I don't give a damn. I don't care where the damn washer and dryer.
So I try and push through that, and now my son is 8 now, so I do have him do a lot of the rotating, so I can have him, hey, take the clothes out the dryer, put the clothes from the washer in the dryer. So I do have him help me a little bit with that. But yeah, so I outsource and yeah, I get caught lazy, but the trick to that is just don't tell them that a cleaning lady came.
Period. Oh no, we got a ring. No,
He gonna know.
maybe I open up the garage.
Sometimes I do a little bit of cleaning and I'll try and show off. He was like, "Who'd you pay to come clean?" Like, no, I did that myself this time.
Like, you already know. Like, it's not that I don't like cleaning because I don't like a messy house.
Right.
I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have the energy. I try to do it like periodically. Okay, on my lunch, but on my lunch, I want to spend time with
Right.
myself.
Mm-hmm. And I said, so I think that that's really important is figuring out, you know, a schedule that works for you and and I guess delegating certain things away.
Yeah.
So making life easier for yourself is very important. And then also that schedule that I spoke of, like make yourself a schedule. Like I don't right now I do because I was working. So I did open up my weekends up for photography. But before I didn't take photo shoots on Sundays and Mondays. So Sunday was my my time where away from work, from anything, just me and my kids because they're not in school.
Yeah.
And then Monday was my time
For
to
yourself.
myself.
Yeah.
And I think I actually had Tuesdays off too. And Tuesday was my admin day. So on Sunday and Monday, I did no type of photography, anything.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesday is when I would go in and do any of my admin work where I'm probably sending out proofs or something like that. Because like I said, I did have my virtual assistant. So she just does the customer service. So I don't have to, you know, if somebody messages on a Sunday, make them wait till Tuesday or miss out on that lead.
Yeah.
I had that in place. So that's where I said, you know, that outsourcing comes in as well, because that definitely helped me out a lot with having that backup help and not having to sit and, you know, if you want to take a vacation, you take a vacation, a real vacation.
Honey.
And that money still, you know, makes itself.
So someone was telling me about like taking that vacation, but it being like business. Do you know how to do you do that? Do you know how to do that?
It's really easy.
I need to learn.
All you do is keep the receipts. All you do is keep the receipts. So I have a Dropbox file where I have an admin Dropbox file, and in there I have my networking folder or my business marketing folder, things like that. And I'm dropping my flight receipts in there. I'm dropping my hotel receipts. I'm dropping my, you know, my restaurant receipts.
Right.
Because, you know, I do the traveling with Girl Gang Indie. Like, we've been in New York twice this year.
And I want to go.
I don't know if we're going back this year. I'm going back this year, but I think we'll be traveling next year. Because I'm trying to go for New Year's Eve, but I'm not doing that one with Girl Gang. But
I feel like that's my time.
Yeah.
I don't know about no Girl Gang, but
yeah.
at least you're gonna be there.
Right. So yeah, I'm just dropping those receipts in that folder. So then I can it's really simple. Because like when you're filing your taxes, if you're doing it yourself, I know a lot of people don't like to do it for their business, but if you are doing it for yourself, there's a field where you just put in that expense.
Yeah.
And so now you have it really easy at your fingertips. And then if you get audited, you got your Dropbox folder for those receipts and everything. They'll show proof. So that's kind of how you make that work. It's really simple. I mean, it might take a little bit of thought, like remembering to keep that stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, I need to learn how to do that. I did have a question, like in regards to learning all of this. I know earlier you said that you were, you know, just reading up on things. Did you have any specific person that was kind of like there for you and being your support to kind of help you get to the next level, get to being who you are today?
I will say that I never had an official mentor until recently, and that we're only 2 weeks in.
Okay.
So she's gonna, you know, I have faith that she's gonna help me on that level up that I'm looking for. But I think that what really helped me was paying attention. So I saw a post on Facebook the other day, and it's just like, he said that a lot of times when people have reached their success, they gave you those gems along the way. And then by the time you see that they've, reached that success, now you got to pay for it. But if you would have just paid attention to what they were saying and what they were doing and, what they were learning as they were getting there, then you would have those gems too. And I do that. I pay attention. I just had I just asked a question in the group. Shout out to Pink Nikki. Just gonna give them a little quick shout out. But I'm in there. She has a group called the Nikki Club. And I just asked Girl Gang Indie, I'm like, you guys are business owners in that group. Are y'all paying attention?
Yeah.
Because her marketing is
amazing.
Amazing.
But does she do it herself, or does she have somebody else do it?
She does have a marketing team. So what I took notes from with that group is one, that she even made the group.
Right.
Because a lot of people I've seen people do it, but a lot of people don't think to make a group for their audience.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what the benefits are.
Yeah.
But the way that she has made it for her, because I've seen a lot of people do it and it's just sales after sales. They're posting their sales. They're posting their events, and they're not really connecting with the audience like that.
Connecting, that is the number one thing. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it just got me super excited, because that's what I was saying, like starting this back up. Since I switched over to professional, I feel like I don't have the audience that I used to have. Like I used to post a picture, it used to do numbers, okay? Now I post to be like 20,
that's because
40.
they're burying you in a feed when you're in professional mode. But we can talk about that later.
And I'm like, why the hell?
It's not that they don't love you. They just don't see you.
They don't, what's going on? Y'all love me no more. I know I got a man now. I know I got some kids. But dang.
No, they just don't see you. It's some tricks to that they don't tell us about. But definitely, because I turned it back on. So my first month in professional mode was December through January of 2022 through 2023, December of 2022 through January 2023. And that was when I took that first New York trip. And I made $500, almost $500 from posting the content just from my New York trip. Yeah, so $500. And then the next month, I made $135. And then the next month, I made $35. And then the next month, I made $18. And then the next month, I made $83 because I probably had like a mini viral post, who knows. But then the next month after that, back down to like $11. And so I turned it off, because one thing about it is I run a business from my personal page.
Right.
And so if I'm not getting that visibility, I'm not getting the dollars from this, and I'm not getting the dollars from my business if people can't see what I'm posting. And so I turned it off, and things go back to normal. Well, I saw that they had, like, people have been talking about that 30,000 bonus or whatever. I was like, I'm going to go ahead and try the professional mode again just to see.
We got to talk after camera.
I mean, the same day, like, I'm just at 0 likes for any of my posts. And I'm like, it literally just takes it all the way back down for me. So I took it off, and I'm right back at the same engagement that I was at before. So you have to work like 10 times harder for that engagement when you're in professional mode.
I got $34 the first month that I ever got paid. I didn't even know I was getting paid. I was like, oh, it said Meta. I thought it was fake. It was like Meta Facebook payment $30-some. I'm like, I don't even know how this shit works. I don't know. And so then I'm like, I'm not even really getting no engagement. So how is it? Right. I think I went to the Know For Sure podcast, and I posted a picture, and that did something. It didn't even do what it normally does. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe that's what it is. So let me start being more personable. Let me start getting back to raving and just like talking to people and just encouraging people. And it's been going up. You know, I got a little $34 again.
It's some tricks to it, but definitely. So yeah, just the way that she connects with her audience. And then there were other things, like she doesn't sell in that group. Well, she does. I'm not gonna say she doesn't, but she in the conversation she commented herself, but she was like, it's 80% engagement and 20% sales.
Yeah.
You don't want your audience to just feel like a paying customer. You want them to feel like a part of the brand.
They're your friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so those are notes that I took from her. But there's also just things. So I could say that Females Who Flip is somebody who I really pay attention to, and somebody I've actually had conversations with, and taken that and applied it to things that I'm trying to do with my business. And there's a lot of woman entrepreneurs. So when you build that community and your network and you're going to these different events, I feel like you have to do it with intention.
Yeah.
When you do it with intention, that's when you're able to take away certain things, and of course making sure that you apply them and don't just let it go to waste.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I can attribute to my growth.
Yeah.
I
agree 100% especially about engaging with your audience and it being authentic. Also connecting with people, and learning from them. You never know who's looking at you or any of that. So just learn as you grow. And I agree with you 100% on that. So what motivates you besides, of course, your children?
I think that I just know that I want to be great.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to just take away all humility when I say that, because one, humility doesn't really get you anywhere anyway. And I just want to be able to say that, I reach my full capacity.
Fullest potential.
Yeah, my fullest potential. I really did the run, as far as what it is that I want to do with my life, how I envision myself.
Yes.
That's kind of what motivates me to keep pushing, because I can't give up on me. If I give up on me, then I don't have any reason to be.
Yeah.
So I think that that's kind of my biggest motivator, is really just I know who I can be, what I can be, and trying to get there is just what keeps me pushing.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago, it's probably been like 10 plus years.
That's still a few years
I'm
ago.
a little old.
You think you start to look back like, oh, that was that long ago?
2012? Okay. But no, after high school, I started like visualizing the person that I wanted to be. Like I remember at a young age, I was like, God, just make my heart pure and loving. I just really just want to like walk in a room like, oh, there's heaven sit. Like,
right.
Off the movies where the little spotlight come on for the little holy people. I always picture myself being that. I was like, when I walk in the room, I just want to beam a light. It's like, oh, good energy, good spirits. And I always knew that I was going to have locks. Even before it got like popular, I was like, I think I like that look, like that hippie type of vibe, or whatever. And so as I start growing into that person, I'm like, I thought about her a few years ago, and I never knew that I wanted to use my voice. That's one thing that I was like unclear with, but I knew that I wanted to connect with people. I know that I love connecting. I've always been that friend to, oh, let's hang out. Oh, let's bring my other friends and let's all hang out. And then they branch off and they built their own relationship.
Right.
So I always knew that I had that connection of people. But like you said, wanting more and wanting better and not settling.
Right.
Is the number one thing for me that motivates me as well.
Right.
So I connect with you on that. I definitely agree. Do you have any advice for anybody that's looking to get into photography or getting to like connecting and bringing women together, or just anything like business-wise, entrepreneur-wise?
Any advice that I would have for anybody going into photography is that you would want to make sure that you find your own lane.
Yeah.
Because photography is a oversaturated market as well. People don't really notice it because, I feel like we're a little undervalued as well, but there are a lot of photographers. But I kind of feel like my success came from the fact that I knew that my photography is different than her photography, is different than his photography in different ways. Like, I'm a brand photographer. I specialize in brand and she specializes in boudoir. So I can share her posts freely without even feeling like she's competition. But there's also other brand photographers that have completely different styles than me. I'm a bright and airy type of photographer and they're a dark and moody type of photographer. I can share that and be confident in myself because I know that, the people who like my style will gravitate towards me and the people who like that style. So when you find your own lane, you find more success in that because you're, one, not constantly comparing yourself or trying to, imitate other people, and then you find your own authentic identity through your creativity, and people are going to gravitate to that. So definitely just make sure that your main goal is to find your own lane starting out.
Niche.
And then as far as women who are creating a community for other, just a community in general, I just feel like the biggest thing is, one, making sure your intentions are pure, but making sure that people know your intentions, and then just move through that. And that will guide you through everything else.
Yeah, I feel like that's general. Like that's in general, like with any business that you want to get into. Again, like you said, having that, having your own authenticness. Is that a word?
Authenticity.
There you go. Having your own whatever you say, get it out. And then also, like you said, finding your own lane and just sticking to that and just being you. So I 100% agree with you. Right. Do you have anything else that you would like to share? Do you have any deal photography, like anything that's coming up that you want to give a shout out to?
Well, mainly, I don't know when this will air, but I do have my Christmas special. If anybody is wanting a Christmas special, definitely hit me up. I'm at A Good Life Photo Co. That's kind of really all we have going right now. It's peak season for photography. So like Christmas and family sessions really just take over, and you got to just try and stay alive through December as a photographer.
Because I was definitely we talking about getting our pictures taken. So I was like, I think I'm going to go to Misha.
Absolutely.
I don't know. We ain't even got our shit together. Like, I know that I want something different. Like, I want like a new look, my style of what I want. Like, I want me and Charlie in blazer jackets. This fool talking about, let's get a polo shirt. Let's get some polos. And then I'm like, no, let's do something classic, more just
timeless.
Not the same typical stuff. Let's be different. So once we get on the same page, I'll be hitting you up. Hopefully soon. Because I'm like, me and Charlie can wear blazer jackets and, super cute. Yeah. And he was like, all right, you get SJ. You get Charlie outfit and I'll get SJ outfit. I'm like, hold on, what y'all wearing? Because
I
need to make it make sense.
Come up to two different shoots. Come for two different types.
He was like, y'all together. No, he over there with him. He gonna take a picture this time. But it was a pleasure speaking with you and getting to know you a little bit better. Again, I think we're friends now at this point. So
absolutely,
if I get on your nerves, I got your number.
Right.
Actually, y'all, she didn't even give me her number. She put it in Girl Gang Indie.
And she just texted me randomly, Mike.
Randomly. Here you go.
And I just responded without even asking. I just like, here. Here's the information.
Girl, you said Cash App. I was trying to win that.
The blessing fund.
Blessing fund. I was like, oh, I'm going to win this. I just was confident in the blessing fund. But before we go, since we just mentioned that, are you doing the Blessing Fund anymore?
It starts back in January.
Okay.
I kind of, with Girl Gang Indie as a whole, I kind of took a step back just to kind of reframe some things. And January will be back better than ever.
Period. I'm going to send my $10. Okay. Sorry, I wanted to ask you this. in regards to like your social appearance. Like you give off very like nervous vibes. How do you work through that?
So I do have social anxiety, and I'm the awkward Black girl.
Okay.
And I kind of just owned it.
Yeah.
And just pushed through it, and kind of like it's just something I'm used to at this point. So I feel like if anybody else, like if it bothers anybody else, it's kind of like that's their problem.
Right.
That's their problem. I've realized though that it can come off in a negative way to some people because I'm not a talkative person in general. So I do like to talk and connect with people.
Yeah.
However, I'm one of those read the room type of people. I have to figure out who you are before I open up to you type of people. And so when I used to have a job, like I have a friend on my Facebook now who used to sit right next to me. So I would share this post that would be like, I don't even talk in real life. And every time I shared it, she would be on that post like, yeah, you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I'll have people to the studio and I don't talk. And then they're like, oh, she didn't seem enthusiastic about my shoot, or you didn't seem to really care to have me at the studio because I don't talk. I'm just, I'm there. I'm like, hey, welcome to the studio. Good to have you. Let's get to it. And now I'm shooting. I'm directing poses, but that's just really it. I'm not, asking them their whole life story. I'm not.
But people need to be more understanding. Like,
yeah, but they're not and that's kind of what I just spoke on a little bit. Sometimes people push their own insecurities on you as well. So even though like, you don't intend to be that way, they're receiving that way because of their internalized,
But my thing is this: if clearly you follow me to book me.
Not all. I get referrals and things like that, so not everybody follows me before they book me. And that's kind of something I have to be mindful of because I have taken the time to explain it after I've heard it enough times. Mm-hmm. So I've explained it, but then I also realized that I can't use it as an excuse. Also, like I do have to try and work on that. I do need to try and be a little bit personable if I'm going to be in the service industry and working with people face to face. So it is something that I like just now, and I'm glad we're not being recorded because I told myself that when I'm talking, I need to learn how to smile when I talk. Because sometimes
you can be you, honey.
Yeah, I know that right now, but sometimes like if I'm on a recorded, like I've been to a couple of speaking engagements these past weeks and I'm looking at the pictures and I look like I have an attitude or I look like I'm about to cry. But that's just my facial expression. So now I literally was just telling myself, if they're recording, you need to remind yourself to smile when you talk.
Smile.
So that, it doesn't look as if, standoffish. So just kind of giving myself those little mental reminders as well. Like, okay, you are this way. You don't want to rub anybody the wrong way though. And, but also
I feel like I got mixed
just pushing through
with that.
But in the service industry, you really can't. You have to be mindful of it because this is your audience. These are the people who decided to support you. Yeah. So if you rubbing them the wrong way, even though it's not anything that you're doing intentionally, it's still something that, you want these people to come back. You want them to refer you to other people, And so it is something, and that's why you go to places like Chick-fil-A and they have that cheesy smile on and they're, being, trying to be so perfect is because, they don't want there to be any ambiguity as to whether this cashier gave you an attitude without barbecue sauce,
Right.
And so,
something simple as that.
Exactly.
She threw my barbecue sauce.
Exactly. So,
but no, so in regards, I know we got to go. Mike looking like, girl, come on. Shit. Actually, ask questions. Let's go. He said, no, I'm good. But no, in regards to that, I feel like the people that know you, do you give disclaimers? Do you say, hey, will you start doing that? Like, hey, I ain't really a talkative person. I'm more of the get in, get out. I don't have an attitude. Do you kind of let them know or you just no?
Because I feel like if I do that, it kind of opens up the window for them to look for that. versus if I just try and be mindful of it and not do it, then it kind of just makes it a little bit more smooth for me. You know, I don't want them to look for any reasons to, you know, have an issue with me either. And I don't want them to think that I'm, you know, just bullshitting them. Like, you know, because some people you could say that and they're like, girl, please, you know, you don't like me. You know, you don't want me here.
Exactly. Like, girl, no, I want you here, honey. Come back. Okay.
Exactly. So no, I don't do those disclaimers. I just kind of try and be mindful. Like, I greet them at the door with a smile and ask them how their day was and thank them before, you know, they leave. Like, you know, thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate you. And I'll, you know, give them a little follow up. But it's just something that I have to be mindful of and take, you know, my own personal responsibility for. It's just kind of being mindful of yourself. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Being mindful of yourself and knowing, and pushing through that. And I think that me kind of being, you know, trying to make those changes is a part of me pushing through.
And it's a way to like you said, grow and be better. If you're not putting yourself in different comfortable, like if you're not getting uncomfortable and putting like holding that standard for yourself, then how are you expecting to grow? So I get you. I get it 100. I just was like, let me ask her. I'm gonna ask because I noticed it, but it's never been an issue. Like, I'm always the type of person where I try to bring it out of you. Like, hey girl, how you doing? And I noticed like whenever I would speak to you, like, hi. I'm like, okay, girl.
It's because I literally have nothing to say. It's just like when people talk to me, my mind draws a blank. I'm like, am I supposed to ask them their life story now?
I feel like COVID did that a lot, especially to me. Like I was telling Mike, I was like, I'm nervous. He was like, Raven, what the hell are you nervous for? I'm like, nigga, I went from being out in the club, partying, turned up, lit, okay? And then meeting a guy, getting pregnant a month and a half later after meeting this man, and then pregnant during COVID. And while I was pregnant, I lost my eyesight. I cut my locks out. I felt horrible. Like I didn't feel like myself. And then during pregnancy, I'm trying to gain my eyesight. They're telling me, oh, we don't know after you had this baby, like if you're going to be able to see again. I'm like, wait, what?
Wow.
Like, what do you mean? You know, so then all of my insecurities started flowing in. And then I got big and then I didn't know how to lose this weight. And then I got pressured into working, but I'm scared because I don't want to leave my baby because of COVID. Like it was just, when I tell you a lot. So a lot of it has been like, me being in my own house. So even when I was recording Growing with Ravi last season, I guess you want to say, I was in my room. I was somewhere like secluded. I was by myself. So this is something new for me all over again, even though I've been on different podcasts, you know, again, that was prior to this. This is something new to me to be actually engaging with you, you know, actually having a conversation, actually being outside of my home where I was comfortable at. So yeah, that's why.
Well, kudos to you for pushing through that comfort zone and coming on out and doing what you said you were going to do. You'll really see the results from that. And I think that you'll be happy with yourself after.
Thank you. I truly appreciate you being here, agreeing to do it at the last minute. I'm just forever grateful, and I think that this episode is going to be amazing. I want to drop this episode around Black Friday-ish.
Oh, okay.
You know, do you have any Black Friday deals?
I don't have any Black Friday deals yet.
It's cool.
I just can't really come up with anything. Like, not yet.
Well, anyways, regardless, when y'all hear it, y'all better go follow her. Tell them your social media platforms.
A Good Life Photo Co. on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. And then my Girl Gang Indie is girlgang.indie on Instagram. And then it's a Facebook group on Facebook, Girl Gang Indie. You should be able to find it that way.
Can I follow your personal page?
Yeah, my personal page is Mesha Hayes, Meshia.
Tell them
Hey, Jay
again. Hold on.
Watkins.
Tell them again, because she be on us. I don't know why y'all put the I
Listen,
before the E. I get it.
I was about to say, I was about to rant about it a couple of days ago because on Monday, I went out to lunch and somebody I had never met in person called me Maisha, and my eye kind of twitched, but I let it go. I ain't say nothing. And then I went to, where did I go? I went to Starbucks and I gave the cashier my name, Misha, and they put the I after the E, you know, and
but
then
still
the
called
person
you.
who calls out the drink said Maisha. I'm like, person call me
I
Maisha
would've
this
just
week. Like, they
stood
don't
there.
see that I after the E. But so it's kind of like an overload. I'm like, okay, they're going to keep calling me this today. But
They got it right this time. If y'all
Right.
hit this, y'all better get it right. It's Misha, not my. It's me. Okay.
And then my Instagram is Michi Lifestyle, which you really won't get much out of me
I
on
don't
there.
think I follow you.
I
on
just
that
got
one.
pictures. I suck on that. On my personal Instagram, I just suck. I just post pictures with cute captions. You don't get my personality.
Not much. Well, it was a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for being here. I want to talk more about your therapy, but I want to talk about that once you start taking therapy, because I go to therapy and do. And when I say love, 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 it was like that was my transition. When I started going to therapy, I started seeing myself. And then also, Jessica's not here right now in regards to on this show. But Jessica Gordon, RTT, Inner Child, honey, okay, I got a session with her next week. So I'll let y'all know how that goes. But yeah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right.